Well, I think one of the toughest jobs in America right now is being a cop. Coming up next on the Jeff Crilley Show, we're going to be talking to a young lady who does not only great work helping current officers, but she's helping the families of fallen officers. That's just ahead.
Many are predicting that the worst is yet to come, which is unfortunate, said one person here. Until now, they've enjoyed the reputation of being the nation's icebox.
Watched a burglar in his home this morning by webcam.
As a journalist of over 25 years, stories are what make my world turn.
Reporting live from the Dallas newsroom tonight, Jeff Crilley, Fox 4 News.
But in 2008, I took the jump from my familiar life and started a PR firm from my home.
We're talking about anyone with a camcorder like the one I'm using becomes a television network.
We started slowly growing the company, and we now have over 100 clients, and we've branched into the world of live digital broadcasting. I now own 8 different TV studios and have a huge team, and the stories that I now get to share are sometimes the most important of my life. Life has a funny way of coming around full circle. This is the Jeff Crilley Show. Boy, there are times in the history of the country where we really think about officers. I think about 9/11 and a time when everybody was running out of the building. Officers, first responders were running towards the building, and you just think to yourself, we cannot pay these men and women enough to do what they do. Somebody who appreciates that, Stacey Magovern, she is the founder of Point Blank Safety and Blue Family Fund. Thank you for coming on the show.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I'm really excited to be here.
Well, I can't wait to talk about your nonprofit, but to set the stage for the nonprofit, let's talk about your for-profit. So what is Point Blank Safety?
So I married a police officer, so I discovered very quickly what that police wife life is like, and it's pretty hard. People don't realize a lot of times that, especially in Texas, some of the smaller departments, they just don't pay very much. So we were sort of struggling with I was commissioned outside sales, which is, feast or famine, and he was a police officer, and we're raising 2 boys, and we found out quickly that a lot of families rely on off-duty work, work for the police officers in their off-duty hours to supplement their incomes. And of course we did as well, but it was very random, and we never really knew when the next off-duty job would come, or, even more when we would get paid. So I just saw this gap in the marketplace, which I guess is how a lot of companies get started. I said, there's got to be a better way. There's got to be a way that we can have a marketplace for off-duty work for these officers, so they can have as much or as little, work as they want, and they can actually know ahead of time with a schedule when they're working, when they're going to be paid via direct deposit. So I just wanted to sort of, create this, came up with the idea. And so what I do, I came up with a name, right, Point Blank Safety, and I got a business card, but I still had to work a full-time job, right? I was still raising 2 boys. I'm still the CEO of my family, if you will, and budgeting and all that. But so I spent 2 years, we started in 2012, spent 2 years trying to get some traction on my idea. I just really thought we could do it better. We could be, one point of contact for these companies that want to use boots on the ground for security or traffic control. And so I started working at it, and I spent every spare minute for 2 years trying to get it going. And I'd been talking to a couple of prime contractors for highway construction, and they use police officers to keep the citizens safe and the construction workers safe. So, but they had never told me, like, yes, Stacey, we believe in your idea. Yes, we want to use you. Yes, this is going to work. And in September 2014, I was in the bathroom getting ready for work. True story. Putting on my makeup just like any other day, and the doorbell rings, and it's FedEx, and it's a package for Point Blank Safety. Well, Jeff, Point Blank didn't get packages. We were a business card and an idea, right? So I open it up, and it's a $1.5 million contract to use our officers on the Managed Lane project from Dallas to Denton with AGL Construction. So
it's like a movie. I mean,
yeah,
it's
like the American dream, right?
Yes. Now, at that point, you panic just a little bit because, gosh, there's a lot that goes into getting this thing cranked up.
Well, the contract was 300 pages, mind you. So yeah, so just a little scary for a company that's not even a real thing yet. Sure. But luckily, law enforcement they spread the word very quickly, and they band together, and they heard we got this, and we went through the contract and found out we needed $5 million in insurance to even set foot on the job site. for TxDOT. So went and got quotes, and $5 million in insurance, if you don't know, is about $14,000 for that industry. I didn't have $14,000. I didn't have $2,000. So that's a lot of the time when a lot of people will probably just go, oh, well, I tried, it didn't work. I'm going to go back to my 9 to 5 or the easy way out or whatever. And I just said no. I said, there's no way $14,000 is going to stop me from changing my life, changing my kids' lives, changing officers' lives. And so my husband and I sold everything we owned, scraped together the money, and got going. And I forgot to mention, they wanted us to start in 2 weeks.
Oh my goodness.
Right. So it was crazy. It's kind of a blur now when I look back.
I admire you so much. We're going to roll a little bit of video from your homepage as you talk about what Point Blank Safety does. So how does this work? Do different contractors sign up for your officers? Or?
Yeah, when they win a project, a highway construction project, they reach out to us. And then we have a pool of about 200 police officers, and they tell us, when they're going to need the officers, what days a week, how many officers on a job site, and then we put that out, and the officers are able to choose and pick when they want to work, what job sites, and then we put them all in a schedule so they know as much as 2 weeks in advance, what job sites they're working and all that sort of thing. My husband is the Excel genius. I'm obviously not, but so he put together this amazing scheduling system so that everybody knows exactly what work is available, and they can literally grab as much or as little as they want.
Very cool. We've got some pictures of your husband and your family, and I want you to kind of narrate this for us. Is that your loving husband?
Yes, and we took a cruise. And invited all the officers to come on a discounted rate. In 2019, we went to Cozumel, so that was an actual company cruise. And this is my husband getting the Reserve Officer of the Year award. He's with Everman Police Department.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
That's very cool. Well, I want to talk about your nonprofit, and it just really touches my heart. I remember you and I talking earlier today, and you get kind of teary when you think about it. Tell us about your nonprofit and how it got started.
Yeah, and I'm just really passionate about helping these people that put their lives on the line every day, whether it's police or fire or whatever, first responder. But in 2017, my husband and I looked at each other and we said, we've been so blessed with the success of Point Blank Safety that it really took off, and now we're one of the largest traffic safety companies in the state of Texas. And so we said, how can we pay it forward? How can we give back? My grandfather always told me, in life you get what you give, and I really wholeheartedly believe that. So we founded Blue Family Fund. It's a 501c3 in the state of Texas, and it's totally self-funded. We don't take any salaries. We pay all the expenses for the nonprofit ourselves. So every single dollar donated goes to a dependent of a first responder that may need a scholarship for higher education, or families of first responders that have been fallen or injured in the line of duty that might need some financial aid to get over what has happened to them.
And you've been doing this for how long now?
Blue Family Fund since 2017, and Point Blank Safety started in 2012, but wasn't a real company until probably 2014.
So, and when you think about the different families you've helped, is there one family that comes to mind that you think about, this is why I do this?
Oh, most recently, yes. We went down to Killeen, Texas. They had a K-9 officer that just passed away unexpectedly, and I won't say names for the family's sake, but we were able to go down there and deliver a check for the family, and turns out both daughters were also first responders in the fire department there in Killeen, Texas. So it just moved me that their dad was a K-9 officer, and then they decided to go into service as well. So it was pretty amazing.
So I'm just not smart about these things in terms of like a officer when they sign up with the department. Is there any money or insurance or anything put aside for? Sometimes
it depends on if it actually happened in the line of duty. Or not. But like, for example, this Killeen family, he just unexpectedly died very suddenly. It wasn't necessarily duty related.
Right.
So there's not really money set aside for that. It has to be while they're on duty. And then sometimes, Jeff, they may have money coming, but they may not get it for 6 months, 8 months, and that service person might have been the only income. So, we may not come in there and give them life-changing money, but we give them enough maybe to get through that hump until they can get that payout.
Yes.
Or, whatever the legalities might be.
And how does this work? Do families apply, or are you just kind of watching the news and saying?
Both.
Okay.
But we also have people just reach out to us. Hey, did you hear about this officer? Did you hear what's going on here? There was a Fort Worth police officer that was diagnosed with brain cancer, and so he couldn't work. He was having to do treatments, and we just went and gave gifts to his kids at Christmas. We just filled their house with tons of presents because he just couldn't do it, being on leave of duty or whatever program he was on. But so people reach out, they tell us stories, we try to evaluate. There's also an application on our website, bluefamilyfund.org. There's also the scholarship application, and we really try to meet all that we can. In our short existence, we've given out 3 scholarships, and we've donated to about 8 families.
Wow. And do you get to meet the families most times?
Usually. Some of them want their privacy and don't want to meet, but most of them really support what we're doing, and they understand we're just trying to build awareness so that people know that we're out there, and we take your money very seriously. I work hard for my money. You work hard for your money.
Sure.
So if you donate to us, we want you to know that you be comfortable that you know where it's going.
And I just want to use this time to give a shout out to all the officers, because one, it's a fairly thankless job. There's a lot of cries around the country to defund police departments, and so they're working not just one job but sometimes 3 jobs, right, to make ends meet, and second guessed at every turn. What do you want to say about the officers that you get the privilege of working with every day?
Well, I'm very passionate about them, and now that we have this company, people say, what motivates you? What gets you up in the morning? And I say, oh my gosh, when you have 200 officers relying on you for off-duty work, you get up in the morning and you get excited, and you try to make sure that you have enough work for them so that they don't have to sweat the bills. And as we all know, it's not the everyday expenses that kill us. It's those unexpected ones, right? Like braces or, car wreck or whatever. So I just like to be able to be there for them so they can pick up some off-duty hours when they need it or not. And that just really motivates me, and I'm very passionate about it. I want to help as many people as we possibly can.
Wow, I love it, and I love your heart. You're
you.
Awesome. We're going to end with both of your websites. We'll start with your for-profit. PointBlankSafety.com is her for-profit. And then her nonprofit, bluefamilyfund.org, and I assume that you can always use donations.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. We also have T-shirts. If you don't want to just give money, we have T-shirts and car decals and different things on the website. We also have our huge fundraiser coming up in February. It's going to be a casino night in Fort Worth, Texas. The tickets are for sale on our website. We're also looking for sponsors for that event.
Perfect.
And that's our real moneymaker for the whole year. So please check it out on bluefamilyfund.org.
Wow. Stacey, thank you for your heart and your service.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks for having me. I love your show and love your studio. It's
You're very
gorgeous.
kind. You're very kind. Well, that's it for now. We'll see you next time.